Happy New Year, Debbie.
Happy New Year, Ant. Happy New Year, everybody watching, everybody
Happy New
listening.
Year. Well, is it?
What a
I
year.
mean, 2026 is going to be a very interesting year.
Isn't it funny, though, how the 31st of December is really kind of a nothing day, right? We've just had equinox. That's a pretty big occasion, some pretty big days. And then we all sit here and look at the clock and we watch those seconds tick by. And we think that magically everything's going to be better and we're going to do this way and that. And it's all on just a few beats of the clock on the 31st of December, which is relevant to
Well, to
what?
me, it's my birthday.
Yes, it is your birthday. It is your
apart
birthday.
from that.
But that's what should be celebrated.
Well, yeah, all I did, but Debbie, was protect my dogs because there were fireworks going off around here from 9 o'clock. It was crazy.
Do you know what? I have got now mixed feelings on fireworks, Ant, because like you, I've got a cat and I've also I look after a stray feral cat, and the fireworks started going about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And I, like you, hate that for the whole animal thing. But it was kind of a sense of normality, because you'd seen so many drones and different light shows and banning of fireworks and now you can't have a wood burning fire, now you can't buy a firework. And it was just the kind of the normality, although I hate the fireworks for the noise and the animals and some children as well. At the same time, it was just a sense of the good old past.
I was chatting to my missus about this yesterday. Back in the day, you used to buy the standard fireworks. You used to get a little box and you get a little Catherine wheel and traffic lights and a couple of rockets and a banger or whatever. And then to see something proper, you'd go to a decent firework display. But now round here, they're using like rocket launchers round here. It's just crazy. Yeah. The kids have all got these unbelievable fireworks, and even at 7 o'clock New Year's Day morning, I'm walking the dogs and the fireworks are going off 7 in the morning.
Wow. No, they are super duper fireworks, but I watched the London fireworks and I was just like, well, maybe we'll talk about the London fireworks in a bit, but I was horrified at the lengths that were taken to stop people seeing the London fireworks. Let's put it that way.
Well, we'll get into that. Should we listen to Kia though? Because he gave a message. Happy New Year to Kia. He gave us a lovely message to the people,
Trigger warning, everyone. Trigger.
Things have been tough in Britain for a while. For many, life is still harder than it should be. You long for a bit more money in your pockets, a meal out, a holiday, the chance to make a special family moment extra special. In 2026, the choices we've made will mean more people will begin to feel positive change in your bills, your communities, and your health service. But even more people will feel once again a sense of hope, a belief that things can and will get better. Feel that the promise of renewal can become a reality. And my government will make it that reality. More police on the streets by March, energy bills down, and the number of new health hubs up in April. More funding for local communities. And with that change, decline will be reversed. That opportunity for you and pride in your community can be restored. I share the frustration about the pace of change. The challenges we face were decades in the making, and renewal is not an overnight job. But putting our country back on a stable footing will become our strength. Strength that means we can support you with the cost of living, rail fares, prescription charges, fuel use.
Sorry, I can't hear anymore. I can't listen to it. I can't listen to it. I could say a lot of hurty words that'd probably get me arrested. So I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I'm going to say something, and if I get a knock at the door, you know why. So I'm going to say, number one, who is he kidding? Who is he kidding? Happy New Year, Lorraine.
And to Jelly Bean as well, who said Happy
and
New
Jelly
Year.
Bean, Happy New Year, everybody. So he's going to do all of this for the elite. The message is for the elite. What he means is that 2026 is going to bring more surveillance, more tracking, more tracing, more digital identification. When he talks about train fares and talks about the cost of living, what he's talking about is if you comply with his government's narrative, which is basically give your bio all of your biometric data to get into the supermarket, you'll get cheaper food. It means that if you give your biometric data, you'll be allowed to get on the train. But if you don't, you're going to be a naughty citizen because social credits is on the way in. That's what he's meaning. More surveillance, more lies, more compliancy, more corruption, more tyranny. That's what it's going to be. Just reverse everything that he says.
That's my Lou saying Happy New Year.
Hello, Happy New Year. Big hugs.
Yeah, that's exactly what he means, Debbie. He's not bothered about the people. He couldn't care less.
No, of course he couldn't.
Couldn't care less. None of them could. Happy New Year, Paula. You know, it's just
Happy New Year, Paula. And the king, you know, his message as well.
king.
It's all absolute hashtag bullshit. The king put out his message in the Lady Chapel at Westminster Abbey, as I said last time we spoke. And it was all about the environment. It was all about multi-faith. You know, here he is, the head of the Church of England, not.
Mhm.
And let's not forget Prince William, because I have quite a lot to say about Prince William, but I won't today. But what I will say about Prince William is that he doesn't really have a faith. So he doesn't really want to be head of the Church of England. That's
Mhm.
not part of his agenda. So King Charles, who is the head of the Church of England, now professes to be multi-faith, and that's what we're heading for. And this was a very political speech. So the speech from Not My King and the speech from Not My Prime Minister was, in my estimation, hashtag utter bullshit, and just reverse the whole lot. It's crap. Not worth watching.
Yeah, they never stop, do they? Just talking shite, basically.
No, it really is. It's just falls out of their mouths. And you can't take any of them, literally any of them, seriously. And I think that's why so many people will identify when I say, you know what, at the end of the day, we're all politically homeless. Good afternoon, Raoul. Happy New Year.
Afternoon, Raoul. Yes, indeed, we are politically homeless because well, what it's done though is expose the fact that democracy is a complete illusion.
It's a lie. It never existed.
Well, exactly, but I think now the illusion, the veil's being lifted very much. So if you're not seeing these people with the real eyes, if you're not realizing it by now, it's time to dig deep into yourself a little bit, I think, and look at these. No one is going to come and save us out of this lot. This is down to us. This is getting worse and worse and worse. And let's go into digital ID. One of the Happy New Year moments was the fact that newborn babies are going to be tagged.
Surprise. I mean, you know, the thing is that the frustrating thing, I think, for people like us, is that we have been warning about this. Microchips, digital ID, tracking, tracing, marking, all of us. We've been warning about this for ages. And everybody called us conspiracy theorists. And that's just another tin hat we've just lost, because once it appears, my mother's a prime example. You know, I can tell her X, Y, and Z, but once it appears in the Telegraph, she believes it. And all of a sudden now it's in mainstream media, it's in the newspapers, and this is real.
It's I mean, they like to put these things out there. They know that this is their plan because it's part of the transhumanism agenda anyway, is to have everybody connected to the cloud. That's part of it. And if we're not careful, this is why I say it's down to us that are aware of things to make other people aware of what's going on. The responsibility falls at our feet, you like it or not. If you know what's going on, you've got some responsibility right now. And we've got to protect our kids, our grandkids, the future of humanity right now, because we are literally at the cusp of the biggest change that humanity's probably ever faced, and one that may never be reversed as well.
So what I want to say about this is that I've got 5 children, so I've been through 5 labours. You've got kids, and you've been there. What happens when you have a baby is that mum is generally exhausted and dad is generally in tears or quite overwhelmed. It's a very emotional experience. You're amazed, happy, relieved. There's just so many emotions depending on how that labour's been. So for the first few seconds, first few minutes after birth, baby is normally whipped away, wrapped up, weighed, checked by a paediatrician or by the nurses. Now, in those few minutes, that baby is out of sight. Even though you may still be in the same room, there's so much emotion going on, elation, phone calls to make, photographs to take, just so much going on. You have to ask yourself, in those few minutes, what is happening to your baby? You need now to have sharp eyes because already heel prick tests are done at birth.
Yeah.
So we know that things are done immediately at birth. And it could be that some babies struggle a little bit and maybe need aspiration, maybe need their windpipe cleared and stuff, maybe a bit of mucus. So sometimes there is a little bit of time immediately after that baby's born where you don't get immediate contact always. And I've heard from some pregnant mums, not all, but I've heard from some pregnant mums that they're actually worrying now about going to see a midwife. They're worried about going to the NHS. They're even worried about reporting the fact that they're pregnant to their GPs.
Yeah.
Some mums I know that are pregnant they haven't informed any health professionals at all. None. And that obviously concerns me from a safety point of view because, there are some births that are more complicated than others that do need some medical intervention.
Yeah.
However, I'm seeing mums saying, no, we don't want to go to the NHS because we don't trust who we're seeing, and we just have had bad stories. And to be fair, the NHS at the moment, the maternity services are absolutely shambolic, and there are multiple reports out about how bad maternity care is in the NHS, and we've reported it here before now as well about the dangers, and I've reported it on my YouTube channel about the dangers that mothers and their babies are in some trusts. So there's a lot of work going on in maternity services. So
By design, I would say,
tips,
Debbie.
100%.
Because the trauma happens from birth,
Yeah.
and disconnection happens from birth. The control of an individual starts at birth. And there's a lot more that goes on that we know regarding harvesting of organs, placenta. There's all sorts that goes on that's dark territory that people probably don't want to tread, but these things happen.
They have to. Alder hay. I mean, you've only got to stick in alder hay to Google and see about the babies and organs that were, it's just absolutely shocking. That wasn't that long ago. Home birth with a doula. Yeah, I'd absolutely recommend that, Jelly Bean. I'd go one further actually, and I'd say home birth with a doula midwife, a qualified midwife that is practicing as a doula. And I think, the honest midwife, or was the honest midwife, she's now Victoria Rickson on her
Victoria,
social media, amazing Victoria. Her advice to anybody that can't access somebody as amazing as Victoria personally is speak to your elder ladies and women in your family, your wise women in your family, your grandparents, your aunts, sisters that have had babies that have gone through pregnancy. That's what we did in the old days. We spoke to the wise women in our family.
And this is the thing about community, the power of community that they're ripping from us, where we rely on systems rather than people, and it's going to be relying on apps and AI the way things are moving forward. We need to pull back to being human. It's crucial.
Scrap the app. I started that campaign probably about 2 years ago when the NHS app first came into being. And I said the app is going to be the key to digital ID because the app is going to track you, survey you. And then the app, any app, whatever app it is don't trust these apps. You know, they give you fake information. They are fake information. It's crazy how much false information is on them. So my message is scrap all the apps. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where you can't shop without the, have you got the app? You can't pick up your prescription. Have you got the app? It's no, I haven't got the app. I don't want the blooming app. Scrap the app. App trap, app track. You know, I don't know why people are so insistent. I watched, okay, so I was in Sainsbury's. I don't know why I keep going back to Sainsbury's. It was just for some Christmas. Honestly, it was just for some Christmas crackers. All I had was a box of Christmas crackers, and I had a £10 note in my hand. And the woman in front of me had a basket of stuff, and she's using her app, and her app didn't work. Then she's having to swipe something with her phone. The phone didn't work. Then the cashier's having to push figures into the thing that worked. Then she had to swipe her app again. That didn't. Do you have a Nectar card? Oh yes. Hang on a minute. It convenient. I walked through and I bought my box of, it was £9.99. I said put the penny in the charity, and I'd gone within like 1 minute. £10 note, one box of crackers, and I'd gone. This woman, she was there for 10 minutes, swiping her app, looking at her app wouldn't work, then it rejected. Nightmare. No convenience. Inconvenience.
Yeah, I
Ran
know.
over.
No, but I feel you. I do.
That's without Tool Station. Oh, without Tool. If anybody's listening from Tool Station, all I wanted to do was just buy one item and order an item, grip box. I wanted a grip box, right? Because it's getting icy. We've got snow warnings.
Yeah.
No, give us your postcode. I don't want to give you my postcode. Well, we can't make an account. I don't want an account. I just want to order a grip box. Well, to order a grip box, we've got to open an account. You need a postcode. So we gave a fake postcode, and that entered in. Then she said, well, we don't have it in stock, so we'll have to ring you when it's in stock. What's your phone number? And I'm going, we don't have a phone number. Oh, but we can't open the account unless we have a phone number. So we gave a fake landline phone number. So, of course, then she said to me, you'll not be able to pick it up unless we phoned you to tell you that it's in. And I said, well, how about if I'm passing, I'll just pop in. She said, well, if it's been here for more than 24 hours, we'll send it back. So you really need to wait for the phone call. And I went, one problem. I'm deaf, and sometimes I go out, and I've just given you a landline number. But this is like, do they not want our custom? It's becoming impossible. Give us your postcode, give us your address, give us your knicker size. No. No.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
So I'm giving fake information now. Hi, Adele.
Hey,
I'm giving
Adele.
fake information now.
And
I'm just giving
happy
fake
birthday,
postcodes.
Adele, by the way. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Adele. I know
happy
it's your birthday.
Everybody's birthday. You know what? My son's birthday is just before Christmas. My grandson's birthday is a day before yours, Ant.
Yeah.
It must be. You can't get birthday cards during this time of the year. It always cheeses me off because everywhere's full of Christmas cards.
Yeah. And yeah, well, your birthdays get watered down around Christmas.
I know, my son says that. It's because we did, we got double and we split a bit for Christmas, split a bit for birthday, and
it is what it is. It is what it is. Should we stick with kids though? There's more sinister stuff happening with our children, unfortunately. Children in England to be offered vaccines in their own homes. This is one for you, Debbie, I think.
Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I mean, where do I start with vaccines? I can't remember precisely how many vaccines children have now got to have before they're 2. I think it's over 16 jabs. And they are just pushing, but not just pushing, they're looking for you. So if your child wasn't at school on a vaccination day, or if you haven't volunteered your child for a vaccination, does this mean, look, children will be identified by the NHS using GP records. Health visitors will be trained to administer vaccines safely and have tricky conversations. These are the families that do not want to have their children vaccinated. This is who they're targeting. And just up from that a little bit, you saw where streeting was mentioned. And of course, now what they've just announced is that the MMR and chickenpox is going to be combined. So now children are going to be having chickenpox and MMR in one. Now, number one, none of these children, in my opinion, need any of these vaccinations. Number two, in my day, chickenpox week, my mother sent me to a chickenpox party. She'd send me to a measles party just to get it over and done with when you're young, because you didn't want to have it later in life. That's what we did. Children do not need vaccinations for any of this. It's absolutely crazy. Seriously, Wes Streeting is putting out, in my opinion, a very dangerous message. And well, perhaps we'll talk about Wes Streeting and who he is.
Well,
But
let's put Wes on. Let's listen to Wes.
all
a
right,
bit.
let's listen
You know,
to
let's
him.
have a listen
Ooh,
to it.
trigger warning.
I'm really excited that today we're launching free on the NHS the new chickenpox vaccine that's going to be combined with MMR to make sure we give children the protection they need to avoid a condition that can not only be really irritating for children, but actually potentially very dangerous and even fatal. This new vaccine means that parents will be able to have the peace of mind of knowing their children are protected, not having to worry about taking time off work to care for a little one who's got chickenpox, and doing what the NHS does best, which is taking the leading, cutting edge, great science we're famous for in this country, combining it with our National Health Service to give you the care that you need, free at the point of use, and making sure that the NHS is always there for all of us when we need it.
Shut up, Wes. I mean, look, we're getting famous in this country for utter bullshit. That's what we're getting famous for. And dangerous rhetoric all the time.
Oh, but did you like that awful, creepy music behind him?
Oh,
And that
very
kind of,
nice.
you know, that kind of smile, that smirk on his face. But, you know, he was saying there, oh, you won't need to take time off work to look after a child with chickenpox. Maybe you might need to take time off work because that child's had a serious adverse reaction that they need never have had. And anyway, taking time off work to look after children, that is all part of parenting. My kids, you know, my kids will tell you that even though it was really sometimes horrible being ill, they kind of used to love being ill as well, because they were off school and I'd tuck them up and I'd get them whatever they needed and I'd run around after them, and, you know, they'd have a few little treats and they'd have loads of attention and loads of storytelling. And it was a time where even in sickness, you became bonded to that child because you were looking after them. You were there to care for them. And he's saying, oh, it's a potentially fatal disease. How many people do you know that have died of chickenpox?
No.
No, I don't either.
A couple of
I really
itchy
don't.
moments and sort of bathing in calamine tea or whatever, you know, to soothe some of the itching. But apart
Yeah,
from that,
and of course, yeah, he mentioned it was free, or it's a free new, oh, it's new. It's like, oh, come and get it. No, this is all about the UK Life Science Programme. And what we have to actually understand is not just is this part of the transhumanism agenda, but this is part of the life sciences agenda for the UK, where we have been volunteered, as have all of our children, volunteered to be digital lab rats and physical medical lab rats for clinical trials, experiments, and pretty much everything else. We are the global experimental laboratory for the world.
we're commenting on what Lorraine put here, that the nurses managed to give a granddaughter vitamin K before the daughter even realised. I mean, how disgusting is that?
No, and this is you're absolutely right, Lorraine, and this is what I mean. Your babies, you know, some depending on the type of birth you've had, and so many women, and Victoria was saying that I mean, in my day, a cesarean was kind of like an emergency. You would have a cesarean only in case of emergency. And Victoria was telling me that, who's midwife, she was telling me that if a woman wanted to have a cesarean on, say, August the 1st, because she was going on holiday on August the 14th, then the midwife could not refuse that. So more and more women were opting to have cesareans. So depending on, I don't know, depending on the birth, I guess, you know, your baby might not be with you immediately after you've given birth, and you don't know what's happening to your baby. You don't know what drugs they're giving your baby. You don't know what implants they're implanting into your baby. Isn't that illegal? I don't know. I would imagine probably they've got some way around it, like they have a way around everything. Like this is routine, all babies get vitamin K. Maybe you don't even need to have informed consent on vitamin K. I don't remember when my babies were born anybody saying to me, we'd like to give your baby vitamin K. Is that okay? I don't remember. I think they were just given it as a matter of routine.
Any thoughts on malaria? Was one of the comments.
Plenty. Probably need another program to do malaria.
Okay.
That involves Bill Gates. We'll get there. We will get there, I promise.
Well, the secret little flies that
Well, about the
mosquitoes.
New, have you seen the nano?
The nano mosquitoes. Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them.
And they're releasing them all over the place.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Bill Gates is having a fine time.
Speaking of Bill Gates and these wonderful diseases they like to put out there, what's going on with COVID then? You know, is the symptoms and what's going on here?
Honestly, look, this is the latest NHS guidance, right? And just honestly, it's mocking us. Bear in mind what we had to endure 6 years ago. And all it says, look, now is, it could include a high temperature, a new continuous cough, shortness of breath, aching body, headache, sore throat. The symptoms are very similar to symptoms of other illnesses such as colds and flu. Most people feel better within a few weeks, but it can take longer to recover. I mean, seriously, just go back 6 years. Just go back 6 years and think of the amount of people that were told this was extremely serious. It was going to kill them. They had to have a vaccine. They had to protect the NHS. You had to have the injection to protect Granny. You couldn't travel. You had to stand 6 feet away from people. You had to talk through plexiglass. And now they're saying, oh, you don't need this. And it's perfectly fine. Just stay at home and you'll feel better. And this is in your face. This is the updated guidance.
Oh, you only need paracetamol, ibuprofen. You know, drink. You know, get a lot of rest. Drink water. You know, maybe
teaspoon of honey.
A teaspoon of honey, that'll sort it. Yeah. You know, but
honestly,
remember though, Debbie, it was a novel virus, and people were dropping down dead in China.
There's a lot going on. In China. Got a lot to say about China. But this is mocking us. This is so cruel. How many people are reading that guidance now that have had the vaccine that are seriously vaccine injured? How many people are looking at that have lost people through the vaccine? How many people missed the funeral of their mum or weren't there when their mum or their dad or their loved one died because they were locked up? You know, how many people were affected? Everybody, I would say, every single person on the planet pretty much was affected in one way, shape or form, whether you took the vaccine or whether you didn't take the vaccine, whether you believed in COVID, whether you didn't believe in COVID. They told you that it was a deadly disease and then they put that up. How do those people feel? I mean,
Well, it beggars belief. I mean, obviously, you know, without going into too much detail, I'm sure the majority of the people that watch our show already know what was going on then anyway. It's about reaching the people on the street that we're trying to achieve now as well. But there's so much damage from 2020. It can't even be measured. I don't think the damage that's been caused mentally, physically, financially, just so much damage has been caused, and we've said in numerous of our Friday shows that it can't be forgotten, and we'll always have to keep reminding people of what happened. We must not forget what happened and what they did, and I'll still state it as they, because this was done on purpose.
100%, and you're absolutely right. We must never forget, and they want us to forget. That's why we're going to get digital book burning. We're going to get, deleted files. Things are going to be hidden. You know, is COVID going to be another Atlantis? Is it going to be one day in many, many years' time, people are going to look back and say, did it really happen? Did they really do that? Or was it just made up? You know, because there aren't any written records, very, very few written records now on COVID. So we must never forget, and we won't ever forget.
So there's a new deadly cancer-like fungus, I believe.
Yeah,
Gets
deadly cancer-like fungus, which once it gets into the body, it pretty much raids it. This is a story that the Mail, similar to cancer. And of course, it's going to be antibiotic and antimicrobial resistant, because when you talk about antimicrobial resistance, we're talking about fungicides, we're talking about antibiotics, bacterials, we're talking about all of that. It's not just about antibiotics, it's about different forms of antimicrobials. So this is a C. auris. They're explaining this, that, which yeah, C. auris, which once it gets into the body, it just spreads and spreads. It's more fear. And of course, it's just getting us used to the whole antimicrobial resistance narrative, which we'll see a lot more of in 2026. People that'll have bacterial infections, that all of a sudden the normal antibiotics that you're used to won't be available. They'll be in short supply, or they won't work. So you'll be told to take brand new biologics that are coming down the pipeline that I suspect will be just as dangerous, and they'll be including monoclonal antibodies. And it's interesting because GlaxoSmithKline and the biggest pharmaceutical company in China have just teamed up. So anybody that thinks that China's not involved in what goes on in the United Kingdom, it very much is. So yeah, that's just a new round of fear, I'm sure, that's coming down the line, along with many more.
Of course, and I'm sure there'll be a jab out
Lorraine,
for
that's
it.
shocking. Sorry, I've
isn't
just
it?
seen Lorraine's message on there. That's absolutely shocking. She was phoned by social services, or at least her daughter was phoned by social services because her granddaughter hasn't had any jabs. They say she's putting her at risk. Is that, I've got a laughter emoji at that, but was that serious? Did she really phone your daughter? Because that is shocking. And I did say that the NHS are going to be looking for you, and they're not just going to be looking for you for jabs. If you've missed an appointment, or you've had a test result that's come back on your app, and you've decided that you don't want to follow it up, you don't want to go for further investigations, they're going to come looking for you. So you need to be aware of that. And not only are they going to come looking for you, but if you decide that maybe you've been, that they suspect that you've got a specific condition and they recommend treatment or they recommend further investigations, if you have any history of mental health illness or anxiety or depression or drug use or alcohol use, or maybe being on the autism spectrum, ADHD, if you refuse their recommendations and refuse their treatment or their investigations, your mental capacity will be put into question, and you will be possibly told that you can't refuse, that it's not in your best interest to refuse, and therefore the NHS will insist on you having that moving forward. Now, I know that because it's happened to me.
Yeah.
So I got told that I had to have an investigation. I refused. I got 3 phone calls from mental health team to say that they were checking to see if I had capacity and if I understood what I was doing by refusing treatment. So I've had it happen to me. So if it's happened to me, it can happen to anybody.
All for your own safety, of course.
All for your own safety, and everything's in your best interests.
So Lorraine's granddaughter basically told them to do one.
Well done. Well done. But you see, then you've got the situation of, well, are they going to come back? Are they going to take no for an answer, or are they going to target me? Are they going to go through a different way, school or whatever? You see, they put that air of doubt in your head, and it should never be happening. People should not be knocking on the door. The NHS should never be looking for you. You should only want to access the NHS when you feel you need to. So if you've been in an accident, if you're in an emergency, if you're unwell, if you need medication, if you need the NHS, then fair enough. But why are they suddenly coming chasing us? I see hoardings all over the streets. I see buildings with NHS logos. I see vehicles travelling with NHS logos everywhere. I mean, yeah, how long before they shove you into a van? No, they already are. They already are. And you know what? We're getting ambulances that are going, electric ambulances that are going to be equipped with CT scanners, X-rays, the whole lot. So they're going to pull up outside your door. They're going to cart you into a van. They're going to do the tests, feed the results back to a central database, and then they'll diagnose you, either admit you, or they'll take you back home. That's what's going to happen. And in the meantime, what are you going to be given?
I know. It's a crazy world, this world, and we're just got to keep exposing it the best we can, keep pushing forward in terms of making people aware of how mad this place is, and make changes. The people are going to have to come together in communities and start building again, because what they're throwing at us is a bloody mess.
I just want one question to be asked of every single person in the country, and that is, are you pissed off with the government? That's simple. I don't care why you're pissed off with the government. As I've said before, I don't care why. If you are pissed off with the government, then you have a serious reason to make an action, whatever that action may be. I mean, I would like to see everybody descend on the whole country, as many as possible, descend on Downing Street. If you're pissed off with the government, I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what country you come from. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what colour of skin you have. If you're pissed off with the United Kingdom government, that's good enough for me.
And I think more and more people are going to get pissed off over the coming 12 months, because it's going to get more. I think people are just going to become more aware, and that's partly why we do what this show, obviously, and we talked about that. But I think people are starting to see things. The digital ID thing is going to be ramping up more and more. And speaking of digital ID, there is a new job that was released internally. So a whistleblower leaked an internal civil service job advert, and it was for an £81,000 position. The role was advertised for as a digital deputy director, and is described as leading the operational delivery of digital ID across government and delivering a transformative national capability. Rupert Lowe put a tweet out the other day to show the screenshot of that, so you can see it. And that this goes to show that everything is already motoring forward. No matter what they're saying about, that things are potentially could be halted if the people say they don't want it, or that there'll be other ways around it. They are going for it without a shadow of a doubt. There is, in fact, the cabinet back in October were given the responsibility for digital ID policies. So this is clear that they're not bothered if people want it or not. Forget your petitions and everything else. They're not bothered. They are moving forward, as are all of the West. In fact, all of the world, really, in a way. They aim to make this with their trans kind of agendas that they've got going on, is to make everybody connected to the internet, and they're going to ramp this up over 2026 is going to be a very, very interesting year.
2026 is going to be epic, in my opinion, for many reasons, and I'm looking at particularly April through to July. So I think we could see a cataclysmic event. We could see a massive event, some sort, in January, and that'll trigger stuff off. And of course, as we get to spring, the weather starts to warm up and people start to get out, and then they're getting angry and they're showing their anger. I think we could see civil unrest, and we're already seeing countries collapse. I mean, the mainstream media aren't reporting that Iran, the people in it, that the Iranian people have risen up and are taking over the IRGC. There's all sorts of craziness going on in Iran, and yet the mainstream media seem to be completely avoiding this whole story, which I think is massive and being deliberately hidden, because I think Iran, I've always said, going with the Bible as well. Iran could be the flashpoint that starts. Everybody's looking at Russia, everybody's looking at Ukraine, but actually, let's keep our eyes on Iran.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were trying to put blame on Iran, weren't they, for what happened in Australia? They're always trying to create some kind of conflict with Iran. So it's clearly an area that the USA / Israel have got their eyes on and had their eyes on for quite some time. So we'll see how that progresses. Jelly Beans says, are you going to do something on the year of the horse? Well, I'm probably going to get on the horse and bolt off, to be honest with you.
The fire horse. It's the fire horse, isn't it?
Is that what it is? The fire horse?
Yeah, it's the fire horse Chinese New Year. I think that's in late February, early March, I think. Yeah, realm of England too. The people are rising. Yeah, you know what? The people of England are, and now if ever I'm asked my nationality, I say I'm English. I'm not British. I'm English. And I think we should all do that. We should be proud of the countries we're in, whether you're watching from Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, or England. I think we should be starting to say we are from whichever country we're from, because we must remember that we are all individual countries, even though we are part of the United Kingdom.
And speaking of Realm of England, my friend Callie Spell is doing good work with the Realm of England. They're the ones that are looking at the law, the common law and everything else. So do look at their website and their YouTube channel as well for more information on that. Yes, so one thing that we talked about before about conspiracy theorists and your tinfoiled hat. Well, it's not going away. We keep wearing them, and we've been saying this for a little while, but the Glasgow City Council have approved a new 15-minute city plan.
Surprise.
Yeah. It's so the Cook Street Urban Garden Scheme apparently has been approved by Glasgow City Council. And it's going to be called, I'll bring this up actually. It's going to be called, let me just add this screen instead. Just bear with me. It's a livable neighbourhood is how it's going to be called. Livable neighbourhoods. So this is Glasgow City Council, and the Livable Neighbourhoods programme is combining elements. So they're saying 20-minute neighbourhood concept. We know it's what it's all about, and it's all about climate change, of course. And that's how they're going to weaponize climate change. They're going to make it as a great thing. You know, transport. You'll get everything you need within your 15-minute city. Isn't that exciting, Debbie?
I can't wait, especially if your relatives are in another 15-minute city and you can't get out of your 15-minute city to get to their 15-minute city because you're not allowed a permit. Because, of course, in these 15-minute cities, I was speaking to Roger Meacock, and he's a vet, and he said pets won't be allowed in a 15-minute city. You won't get pets, and you're going to be restricted. Those 15-minute cities are going to be zoned as well, so it's going to depend on which zone you can go on. And of course there's going to be no cars, so you're all going to be on either bicycles. The elite, they'll have flying taxis, but you're going to be on bicycles or going to be on foot. And of course it's all to do with your net carbon, your carbon allowance as well.
Yeah, of course. That's how they're going to contain everybody.
I tell you what, I've got a bin down here, right? A bin, and it's filling up with the amount of tin hats that have fallen off my head that I've had to go. Now, see, that was never a conspiracy theory, and I've still got a few tin hats left, but a lot of them are going in the bin now, and people are now seeing, oh well, again, if it's in the paper, it must be true. But we've been saying this years ago.
I know.
Microchips for babies. 15-minute cities, the whole climate scam. We've been saying this for years, and I don't like to be right on this stuff, but it frustrates me when people start to believe it because it's in the Daily Mail or it's in the Daily Telegraph or it's on Sky or it's on BBC, when we've been saying it for ages.
I know, it's true. What about that school lunch thing that happened the other day? That's a bit crazy. I don't know what school it was, but so apparently this person's been told that she can't, or they shouldn't be taking pork to the
in
kids.
their
shouldn't be
lunch
taking pork.
boxes.
Yeah.
No, they were going on a school trip
I
and they
knew
were
it.
given instructions, weren't they? Sorry, Karen,
Yeah, yeah.
play the lady.
I'll play the
Here we
lady.
go.
Yeah.
Here we go. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I did a post, go back on it, about America, sending emails home to parents saying no ham products, no pork products should be sent to school, impact lunches for children. And I said, it's just a matter of time before it comes to England. Here we go. Read this. Read this. Unbelievable. London trip to a science museum, the Albert Hall. This is a school in, look at the bottom. What to bring? Small backpack with a packed lunch, drinks and light snacks. No nuts, coconut or pork in lunches, please. How dare they? How very dare they? They can't start telling us what we can and can't eat. That's because of it offends the Muslims. We like pork. I'm livid. I knew it was going to go back on my post and you'll see it. It's happened in America and now it's happening here. Unbelievable. That school should be ashamed of themselves. Telling their children they can't bring in pork. Oh, I'd bring in a great big fucking roast pork.
Honestly.
Well, yeah. It's just every moment of your days are you're just being told how to live your lives.
Yeah, you are. And it surprises me that when I say to people, you know, this whole Muslim agenda, you know, half our public buildings in London are under Sharia law. You know, the Department of Health, and I was at the Department of Health for 5 years on the Autism Programme Board. So the Department of Health, when the MPs were told that, you know, they were going to have to leave the Palace of Westminster because there was a lot of electrical work that needed doing, they'd have to move to another building. Well, in Richmond House at the Department of Health, there's a room there called the Cathedral Room. It's the boardroom and it's absolutely massive, huge. So the idea was that the MPs would move there, but then they refused because they weren't allowed to have a bar. They wanted a bar in the Department of Health and they said they couldn't because the building was under Sharia law, and many buildings in London are. I think if you page into a search bar, public buildings, Sharia law, I think it's Admiralty House as well. There's a whole load of them. People don't understand that we are literally our country is being taken over. We have to stop this. We are British, we are English. We will not let our country being taken over and be dictated to by people that have come in from another faith, from another country. We cannot allow people to dictate to us how we live our lives in our own country. And I feel very strongly about that. If you want to live a Muslim life, if you want to live with that type of lifestyle, then by all means, but do it in your own country. Don't come to my country and try to change my country.
It's about culture and it's about respect for cultures, and the cultures are being removed, aren't they? All over the West.
Rome. Well, what happened to the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans?
Yeah. But if I go abroad, I want to experience culture, and I want to experience, you know, and why remove culture? It's because it removes identity. You remove identity in the future, everyone's the same, and you're more controllable. That's what it's about. It's not good, Debbie. It's not good at all.
No, my son, he's really well researched. He said to me, he said, "Mum, do you realise we're part of the Germanic tribe, if you like, Northern Europeans, and we only make up 7% of the population, the global population. So we're only a tiny, tiny percentage of the population, and yet we are literally." Well, we're being attacked on every single front and nobody seems to be taking any notice. And I watch a lot of live streams from hotel auditors. I see a lot of behavior out on the street from people that have come from other cultures and other countries that is absolutely not acceptable. I saw, and I know you saw it too, an incident going on in a double-decker bus
Yeah.
with a Muslim couple in public.
Yeah, I won't play it.
No, we won't play it because it's not suitable for children, and that's not the sort of thing that we as English people do. But you know, there's a lot of behavior, there's spitting going on in the streets where they're turning our cities red with this tobacco that they chew. This is a culture. They're throwing rubbish into our rivers. We've already got enough rubbish in our rivers, and I've heard reports of swans and ducks being taken off ponds and lakes and eaten
I've
by
heard that as
people.
well.
I
Yeah,
mean, you know, this is England, folks. We need to stand up for our country, every single one of us.
totally agree. So moving forward, because we're running out of time, I don't know much
always.
about this guy, but Allah Abd El Fattah was in. He's an Egyptian activist, writer, and software developer who became a prominent voice apparently during the 2011 revolution in Egypt. And he spent many years in jail, over 6 years apparently. One report said 6, one said 10. I don't really know the full details, but he was released. And Keir Starmer tweeted that he was very pleased. Well, he's delighted, in fact, and delighted that he's back in the UK and reunited with his loved ones. And he's paying tribute to his family. This was on Boxing Day, this particular tweet. And then there was another tweet that came out on the 29th from Keir Starmer. And he talks about the historic tweets by Allah Abd El Fattah are absolutely abhorrent. So how much did he know about it? I find it staggering. I mean, we all talk about the tier 2 Keir Starmer, the double standards that goes on here. God knows how many people in 2025 were arrested for hurty words on social media. And this guy obviously spent time in prison. But why is Keir standing up for him?
Well, it's interesting because you say how many people have been arrested for hurty words. I think it's 30,000 in the UK in 1 year. And we are the highest country for arrests for hurty words in the world. So that's point number one. The other thing that I'd heard, but I would say to everybody, go and check. Don't take my word as gospel on this. But I heard that he wasn't born in the UK. Neither were his parents born in the UK. In fact, his mother, I think, only came to the UK a few years ago. So, you know, she came to the UK, he came along with her. I don't think it is quite what they're saying, you know, British citizen, blah, blah, blah. I always say to people, it was like Rishi Sunak when he was Prime Minister. Many of these people, they hold dual nationalities. You can hold 3 passports. I didn't know that, but you can, your maximum amount of passports that somebody British can hold is 3. So if you were born in a different country, if you were raised in a different country, and then maybe you moved here and you've been here for whatever, where is your allegiance? Is your allegiance with the country of your birth and the culture and where you were brought up? Or is your allegiance with the country that you now live in? I know for sure that if I moved somewhere, my allegiance would always be with England, always. So I have to ask these people who is your allegiance with, because I don't believe it's with our country.
It's a very good point, Debbie. For those that don't know, I mean, I've only looked at this very briefly, but Abd El Fattah, this is the kind of thing he was saying. So most of the social media posts in question were written on X, Twitter, between 2010 and 2012, during the Arab Spring, when the British Egyptian democracy activist, this is what they call him, British Egyptian, was turning 30. The tweets appear to show Abdel Fattah calling for violence against Zionists and the police. In the post, most of which appear to have been deleted and could not immediately be verified, he described the killing of Zionists as heroic, adding, "We need to kill more of them." In 2011, he is accused of saying police don't have rights, we should just kill them all. He was once described, he also once described British people as dogs and monkeys. And screenshots posted online appeared to show that on 8th of August 2011, during the London riots, he posted, "Go burn the city," or "Downing Street," or "Hunt police, you fools." A year later, he appeared to police and by post he put, "By the way, I'm a racist. I don't like white people, so piss off." So it's fascinating that Keir Starmer is so public about releasing this guy. And this is a little clip in Parliament when he was leader of the opposition. He wasn't Prime Minister at the time. And let's just quickly play that.
Can I start by raising the case of Alaa Abdel Fattah? Yes. As the Prime Minister knows and has said, he's a British citizen, jailed for the crime of posting on social media.
Jailed for the crime of posting on social media. Quite unbelievable.
You can't make this up. Yes, of course, everything is deliberately to cause division, and it's a distraction as well as to what's really going on. Jelly Bean, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Never stops, does it?
We'll see. But I tell you what, I want to jump in just before, and I know that we're running out of time, but this is super important because every single day for the last 6 months, I've been checking the government website for the MHRA board meeting, because as many people will know, I've been to every single one MHRA board meeting. June Rain has now gone, long departed, and in her absence has been appointed Lawrence Talon, who is like the James Bond of civil servants. Now, since James Bond has been in charge, we have had a lack of MHRA board meetings. Now, this guy has come in and he has swept through. He's making radical changes. He is now preparing the MHRA for what's going to be a very important year, where things are going to be digital, medical devices, more biologics, more experimental drugs coming down the line. And all of a sudden, I saw over Christmas that they have now put out that there will be an MHRA board meeting on the 20th of January from 10 to 12:30, and tickets are available. Now, they're all free. They're free tickets. If you just want to grab a ticket, and even if you just want to hook up onto the board meeting for half an hour of that or 15 minutes, it all helps. And please go in and check on YouTube. All the MHRA board meetings are on there, but Cheryl Granger and I always go, along with a few others. We hold them to account. We ask questions. They have never said when that they were going to stop public board meetings, and yet we have not had a board meeting since July the 8th. So this is a really, really big event, and please do click on Eventbrite to book your ticket, because the tickets will only be available for probably another week, and then they'll say that the capacity's gone. So grab your ticket, and even if you don't grab your ticket, you can't make it, please follow Ant and I, because we will, and Cheryl Granger, because we will continually update you about what is coming up and what we're seeing on the MHRA board meeting, because without the MHRA, the pharmaceutical companies are absolutely dead in the water. You have to remember that the MHRA is 86% funded by pharmaceuticals. Let that sink in.
Yeah, I've put the link in the chat there. Just put it on screen so people can get the tickets on Eventbrite and be there, basically.
Yeah,
and
I'll be there.
keep an eye on what's going on. I know
it's
we've
been
not
very
got
interesting, and very interesting, because when I first started those events, they were very, very amateur. And since they found that people were watching them, holding them to account and asking questions, all of a sudden you've got signs up, camera 1, camera 2. It's all become a very professional and now you're not allowed to film them. Now you're not allowed to take screenshots during the meeting. They've tightened it up because they know that we're watching, because they never expected us to watch.
No, I'm sure they didn't, but it's important. Thankfully, Debbie, you've been keeping a good eye on them over the past few years. Very important work. We haven't got a lot of time, so let's quickly go through a few things. I like to keep an eye on what goes on overseas as well, because we're very much in lockstep. Things will happen in Australia that will happen here. Things will happen here that will happen in Australia and America and blah blah blah. So Australia is quietly introducing unprecedented age checks for search engines like Google. Recently, it was in the Daily Mirror, and this was for our country, that we are Brits apparently. Now, I don't remember being asked. I don't know if you were asked, but Brits apparently are pushing for the social media ban that's happened in Australia, but I don't remember being asked. I'm pretty sure that I could parent my children well enough to deal with that if needed, but maybe others don't. I wanted to bring this up quickly with you all as well, because I think you'll like this one, Debbie. So there's a summer intelligence internship at the MI6. So let me just share my screen. You'll like this. Okay, so MI5, sorry, not MI6, MI5. However, you can have a paid summer intelligence internship there. Now, what are they looking for? Well, they need people from all the diverse areas. You are basically looking for a diverse kind of person to join that internship. Do you find that?
Wow. I don't find it surprising. But then when you look on the right-hand side, it says it doesn't matter what you're studying. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're in your final year or penultimate year, we'll have you. So just be a British citizen. And if you hold dual nationality, you'll still be considered. So, it's like if you come from another country, another faith, if you've got another belief, then it's the whole, what I call DIE, DIE, the diversity, inclusion and equity, wokery gone completely crazy. And I pointed this out when I said to someone that if I applied for a job back at the Royal Free Hospital in London, as I trained there and as I qualified there, a nurse from another country would get that job over me because of the DIE policy. Thank you, Adele. She's registered for the MHRA board meeting. Yes. Thank you so much. Another one. Yeah. Bring everyone into them.
Well, I know that we had our firework display over here, and it was very much about diversity, wasn't it? It's all brainwashing. It's all
pork and English bacon and what it is to be English. It was hilarious. Not.
I want to end though our show. We try and keep a bit of humour in this, because we know it's all bloody crazy, this world. But there's a guy called, I'd never heard of him before. He's called Dr. Francis Collins, and he's the ex-NIH director, and he's actually Dr. Fauci's superior. And he was out for lunch with his wife. So there's a very quick video where he's out with his wife, and I'd like to hear your comments when you see this.
Hey, Dr. Collins, you and Ralph Baric and Tony Fauci deserve to be in prison for the rest of your lives. You have so much blood on your hands. I hope you sleep well at night. And remember the name Brienne Dressen, because you left her stranded after she was severely injured by the COVID vaccine. In your study. Yeah, you do know. Her name is Brienne Dressen. Have a good night.
Wow. I know the story of Brienne. His face. Did you see his wife?
The face.
All of a sudden, the penny was dropping, because he was obviously expecting someone to hero worship him. And thank you so much, what you've done. And all of a sudden, it's like, wow, well done.
Well done him.
Well
more
done.
and more of that, please. Let's. let's bring these people to account, because they, you know, there's so much damage, as we mentioned earlier on, that's it's untold, and we
100%.
couldn't even put a number on the damage that's been happening from that period of time. And keep smiling, as you say, Debbie.
Always keep smiling, because smiling is what they don't want, and they want your data. So just give any. I gave I gave an old landline number from about 20 years ago that somehow had embedded in my brain. Just, you know, don't give your data. Just don't give your data. Keep smiling and say no. Very simple.
And here's to 2026.
Yeah.
Here's to more communities coming together. Here's to more awareness. Here's to more people recognizing what's going on and coming together and standing up for what's right. So much love to everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And more news to come very soon. Stay tuned.
Big news to come. Yeah.
Big
See
news.
you soon. See you soon.
Lots of love.